In this video, we are going to learn about direct and indirect speech. We use direct speech or indirect speech to relate what a person has said. In direct speech, we quote the actual words of the speaker. So, direct speech is also called as quoted speech. In indirect speech, we give the exact meaning of a remark or a speech without necessarily using the speaker's words. So, indirect speech is also called as reported speech. So, how to convert direct speech into indirect speech? For converting direct into indirect speech, we should change the pronoun, we should change the adverbs of time and place, and the tense of the quoted speech should also be changed. And the tense should be changed accordance with the reporting verb. Let us see this in detail. If the reporting verb is in the present or future tense, the tense of the verb in the reported speech is not changed. So we learned that in order to change direct speech into indirect speech, we should change three things. What are they? Pronouns, adverbs of time and place, and then tense. But Rule 1 tells us that if the reporting verb is in the present or future tense, present means simple present, present continuous, present perfect, and present perfect continuous. Future means simple future, future continuous, future perfect, future perfect continuous tense. So if the reporting verb is in the present or future tense, the tense of the verb in the reported speech is not changed, which means when we convert direct into indirect speech, there is no need for us to change the tense. See the examples. He says, open quotation, I am ill, close the quotation. He says, comma, I am ill. So here the reporting verb is says and it is present in present tense. So there is no need for us to change the tense of the quoted speech when you change it into reported speech or indirect speech. So what is the answer? He says that he is ill. So we have changed the pronoun I into he. Here we have used the conjunction that. Why have we used that? Because it is a statement. I am ill is a statement. So when you change a statement from direct speech into indirect speech, you have to use the connecting word that. And more importantly, you have to remove all the quotation marks as well. See the second example. He says, comma, open quotes, I was ill, close the quotation. Here, the tense present in the quoted speech is past tense. I was ill. But what about the reporting verb? The reporting verb is in present tense. So, again, we are not supposed to change the tense present in the quoted speech when we change it into reported speech. So, the answer is he says that he was ill. Rule number 2. If the reporting verb is in the past tense, the tense of the verb in the reported speech is changed into one of the forms of the past tense. So we are supposed to change the tense present in the quoted speech when we change it into reported speech only when the reporting verb is in the past tense. So as per the following norms, we have to change the tense. When should we change the tense? We should change the tense only when the reporting verb is in past tense. So when the reporting verb is in past tense, simple present tense in the quoted speech should be changed into simple past in the reported speech. Present progressive should be changed into past progressive. Present perfect should be changed into past perfect. Present perfect progressive should be changed into past perfect progressive. Simple past should be changed into past perfect. Past progressive should be changed into past perfect progressive. Past perfect and past perfect progressive remain unchanged. So previously you would have seen the video in which I explained the 12 tenses. So if you are not thorough with the tenses, you will not be able to learn direct and indirect speech. So if you have any doubts, please go through the video once again and learn the tenses. That is a very basic thing which you should be knowing. Okay? Note: if the reported speech expresses some universal truth or habitual fact, the tense of the verb in the reported speech is not changed into the corresponding past tense form. So there is an exception. What is the exception? If the reported speech expresses some universal truth or habitual fact, the tense of the verb in the reported speech is not changed into corresponding past tense form. See the example. He said. Said is the past form of say. So as per the rule we studied previously, we should change the tense present in the quoted speech when you change it into reported speech. But here we are not supposed to change the tense. Why? Because it is talking about an universal truth. Ice smells when it is heated. This statement is an universal truth. So when you change it into indirect speech, we are not supposed to change the tense. So what is the answer? He said that ice melts when it is heated. The reporting verb say should be changed into tell when the person to whom something said is mentioned. Look at the example. He said to me, comma, open quotation, I am busy. Full stop, close the quotation. See the answer. He told me that he was busy. Here we have changed the reporting verb said into told. Why have we changed that? Because the statement or I am busy was said to me, and that particular to whom something is said is mentioned in the direct speech. So when that is mentioned in the indirect speech, the reporting verb said should be changed into told. Okay? Other than this, we have to change the pronoun and we have to change the tense also, and the connecting word that is also used in this sentence because it is a statement. Rule number 3. Pronouns and possessive adjectives of the first and second persons in direct speech are changed into third person in indirect speech. See the box. I and you should be changed into he and she. I and you in the direct speech should be changed into he or she in the indirect speech. My and your should be changed into his or her. We and you should be changed into they. Our and your should be changed into their. Rule number 4. In the reporting speech, the words expressing nearness of time and place are changed into words showing distance. Now should be changed into then, this into that, here becomes there, these become those, hence should be changed into thence, hither into thither, thus into so, ago into before, come into go, today becomes that day, yesterday should be changed as the previous day, tonight into that night, last night into the previous night, and tomorrow into the next day. You have to learn all these things. Let us see the example now. The manager said, comma, open quotation, I'm very busy now. Full stop, close the quotation. How to change it into indirect speech? First, you have to look at the reporting verb. The reporting verb is in past tense. Said is the past form of the verb say. So, we should change the tense also when we convert direct speech into indirect speech. And also, we know that it is a statement. So, we have to use the connecting word that. So, what is the first part of the answer? The manager said that. And remove the quotation, remove the comma, everything. And you change I into he or she. Because we do not know whether the manager is a woman or a man. So, you can either use he or she. Okay. Then I am very busy should be changed into he was very busy. We already learned that simple present tense should be changed into simple past tense. Okay. So, and what is the last thing after changing the tense? We have to change the adverb. Busy now. Now should be changed into then. That's all. So, changing direct speech into indirect speech is very easy. See the example. Next example. She said, comma, open quotation, it may rain tonight, full stop, and close the quotation. Indirect speech. She said that it might rain that night. So, when modal auxiliaries like may, can, shall, will are used, you have to change them into past form. May should be changed into might, can into could, shall into should, and will into would. Okay? And tonight, that is adverb, should be changed into that night. Now, how to change assertive sentences? What does mean by assertive sentence? Statement or statements are called as assertive sentences. We all know usually a statement ends with a full stop. We have a full stop at the end of a statement. So, assertive sentences in the indirect speech are usually introduced by the conjunction that. We have already learned this, right? So, see the example. He said to Ravi, comma, open quotation, you are a brave boy, full stop, close the quotation. He said to whom? He said to Ravi. So the listener is also mentioned here. So we know that said should be changed into told. And what is the reporting verb here? Said is the reporting verb. So said is the past form of say. So as the reporting verb is in the past form, we should change the tense when we convert direct speech into indirect speech. You are a brave boy. What is the tense of this sentence? Present tense. So simple present tense should be changed into simple past tense. So what is the answer? He told Ravi that. We are using the conjunction that because it is an assertive sentence, and you should be changed into he, are should be changed into was, and the remaining part you have to just write like that. Okay, and when you convert direct speech into indirect speech, you should make sure that you're not using any punctuation marks like comma or quotation. Is it clear, students? And the next one is interrogative sentences. Questions are called as interrogative sentences. When you report questions, you use the same word order as in statements. So when we change a question from direct speech into indirect speech, in the indirect speech, we have to use the same word order as in statements. See the example. What is your name? Question mark. Mr. Smith asked the boy. Because it is a question, we have to use asked only. There is no need for us to change the reporting verb. Okay, and see the answer. Mr. Smith asked the boy what his name was. Why have we changed is into was? Because the reporting verb is in past tense. Asked is the past form of ask. Okay. The next point. If the answer to the question is going to be yes or no, you should use whether or if. So in the direct speech, if you have an yes or no question, then when you change it into indirect speech, you have to use whether or if. See the example. He asked them, comma, open quotation, have you seen this man? Close the quotation. We may have two answers for this question. The possible answers are yes, I have seen, and the other answer is no, I haven't seen. So this is an yes or no question. So when you change this question into indirect speech, you have to use whether or if. See the answer. He asked them whether they had seen that man. So this becomes that, and in the direct speech, present perfect tense is used. So in the indirect speech, present perfect tense in the direct speech should be changed into past perfect tense. That's why had seen, that is had plus the third form or the past participle of the verb is used. And we can use if also instead of whether. He asked them if they had seen that man. So we have to use whether or if for yes or no questions. The next one is imperative sentences. In reporting an imperative sentence, the reporting verb say or tell is changed into a verb expressing a command, advice, or request. See the box, command. If it's a command, you have to use the word command, order, bid, or tell. If it's a proposal, when you write or when you convert it into indirect speech, instead of the reporting verb said, told, asked, and all, you have to use proposed or suggested. If it's about prohibition, you can use the word forbid. If it's an entreaty, you can use the word entreat, pray, or beg. The imperative mood is changed into the infinitive. Infinitive means to plus verb. And in imperative sentences, that is commonly not used. That is the conjunction that is not used as a connecting word. If it is used, then instead of to, should is placed before the imperative. Let us see the example so that you will understand. The rules for the change of pronouns must be observed. But when you change imperative sentences from direct speech to indirect speech, you should observe the rules for changing the pronouns. Okay? See the example. She said to me. Here the reporting verb is said. But in the quoted speech, we find a request. What is present in the quoted speech? Please give me your book. It is a request, isn't it? So when you change it into indirect speech, instead of the reporting verb said, we have to use the word requested. So she requested me to give. So infinitive is used here. To plus verb. To give her my book. So me becomes her, your becomes my. Do you understand, students? And please take a look at the note. When let in the direct speech expresses a proposal or a suggestion, we may use should and change the reporting verb to propose or suggest. He said to me, let us have some tea. So, in the indirect speech, we have to use the word proposed or the verb. He proposed, or we can use he suggested to me that we should have some tea. Is it clear, students? Then the next one is exclamatory sentences. Exclamatory sentence. You all know what an exclamatory sentence is, right? At the end of each exclamatory sentence, we'll have an exclamatory mark, or in the exclamatory sentence, if you have any interjection, after that also we'll be having an exclamatory mark. So when the contents of an exclamatory sentence are reported, the reporting verb say or tell is changed into exclaim, cry out, wish, pray, confess, etc. But when you convert direct speech into indirect speech, the exclamatory form is changed into the statement form. You have to understand this. The exclamatory form should be changed into the statement form, and the mark of exclamation is replaced by a full stop. All interjections, nominatives of address are omitted or sometimes put as an object of the reporting verb, but the force of interjection is kept by suitable adverbs or other expressive words as indicated below. So when you change an exclamatory sentence from direct speech to indirect speech, we are not supposed to use the interjections present in the direct speech. Okay, we should understand the meaning of those interjections and use the words accordingly. So if you find hurrah or ha, you should understand that the interjection hurrah or ha expresses joy. Hush or hush expresses attention. Alas expresses grief. What or oh expresses surprise. Bravo or here expresses approval. Pooh expresses contempt. So knowing this, you should use the appropriate words as follows. See the example. She said, comma, open quotation, alas, exclamatory mark, he is dead, full stop, close the quotation. So we know the meaning of alas. Alas expresses sadness, isn't it? So when you change it into indirect speech, how is it changed? Look at the example. She cried out with sorrow. So we have replaced the interjection alas as cried out with sorrow when we change direct speech into indirect speech, and we have used the connecting word that, and the tense is also changed. Why is the tense changed? Because the reporting verb is in past tense. What is the reporting verb here? Said is the reporting verb. See the next example. Hurrah! Open quotation, hurrah, exclamatory mark. We have won the match, comma, close the quotation. Shouted the cricket team. So, hurrah expresses joy, right? So, it is changed as the cricket team shouted with joy that they had won the match. Okay. So the interjection hurrah is changed into shouted with joy in the indirect speech. We have used the connecting word that, and present perfect tense is changed into past perfect tense, had won in the indirect speech. Okay, see the last example. The soldiers said, comma, open quotation, curse on the traitor! Exclamatory mark, close the quotation. See the answer. The soldiers bitterly cursed the traitor. So this is how you have to change an exclamatory sentence in the indirect speech to indirect speech. So is it clear, students? So when we change direct speech into indirect speech, we have to change the pronoun, we have to change the adverb of time and place, we have to change the tense. When should we change the tense? We should change the tense only if the reporting verb is in past tense. If the reporting verb is in present tense or future tense, there is no need for us to change the tense present in the quoted speech when you change it into reported speech. Okay, so go through this video again and again, and after understanding all these things, take your book and finish your book back exercises. Thank you, students.